NECPA's Verification Visit video. Welcome to requesting your verification visit. By this point in the process, you should have your self-assessment instrument filled out and answered, as well as your documentation box accurately labeled and complete. If you need help in any of the above requirements, please view your self-study video or documentation box video at www.necpa.net/how-to-videos. Before we continue with the steps of submitting a verification visit request form, let's go over a few center requirements. To be eligible to request a verification visit, your center must be open for a year, have completely answered all questions in the self-assessment instrument, have your documentation box completed with all required documentation for each NECPA standard labeled and filed in an organized manner. You must include a current copy of your license for your center. This license must state your center is in good standing. Finally, your pre-verification visit documentation checklist and your pre-verification visit observation checklist must be complete. The pre-verification visit documentation checklist can be found on page 11, and the pre-verification visit observation checklist can be found on page 80 of the self-assessment instrument. Let's go over the two checklists together. Pre-verification visit documentation checklist. All verification items have been answered yes or no, or NA, in Part A of the self-assessment instrument. A well-organized system with label copies of written documentation for all verification items is ready for review. The program contact information on page 3 is complete with the most current information for the program and director. A copy of the program's current license or exception letter is available for the verifier to collect. Surveys have been anonymously collected from at least 70% of the full and part-time staff members and at least 50% of the families served. All staff records are well organized for verification item A141. Diplomas, degrees, and credentials of staff members should be well documented. A notarized statement of credentials will be accepted. All staff training hours from 12 months prior to your visit date are well organized. Pre-verification visit observation checklist. All verification items have been answered yes or no or not applicable in Part B of the self-assessment instrument. Any items requiring necessary supporting written documentation is labeled and included in the well-organized system and is ready for review. One of these documents will be a copy of your current license. This copy must show that your license is currently in good standing. How to complete the form. Let's go through the form together. On the top portion of the form, you will see general program information, such as program name and street address, as well as the director name. Please be sure that all contact information is up to date. You will also see NECPA-specific accreditation information, such as the program's enrollment expiration date and accreditation expiration date. This additional timeline information helps our team process your visit request form appropriately. You will also see a request for the NECPA site number, which can be found on the front page of your self-assessment instrument, as well as the state license number and license capacity. You will then include the number of classrooms that your center uses and the number of buildings that your program consists of. This information is helpful to our verification visit scheduler. Below these fields, you will see the days of operations fields, as well as the blockout date field. The NECPA provides the option to notify our verification visit scheduler of up to 5 blockout dates that you do not want the verification visit to occur. These dates should be individual days that your program is not available for a verification visit. The NECPA office is closed on all federal holidays and will not conduct verification visits on these days. Extra blockout can be purchased for a $25 per date fee. Below this section, you will find the visit scheduling timeframe portion of the form. This timeframe gives you an overview of when your visit will occur. Your program's visit will occur within 120 days, or 4 months, from the date the NECPA office receives your verification visit request form with full payment. Please keep in mind that the result of your program's verification visit will be issued within 60 days from the date of your verification visit. If you are an accredited program with concerns about a lapse in accreditation, please contact the NECPA office immediately. The next section of the form is the order placement portion. Within this section, you will identify your verification visit fee by choosing your program's license capacity. For example, a program with a license capacity of 61 to 120 children will have a visit fee of $1,150. Further down, you will notate if you have additional blockout dates. You will then find your subtotal, which will be $1,150 if you do not have any additional blockout dates. Then you will find the setup fee, which is a 10% processing fee, $115. And lastly, you will find your subtotal for $1,265. Under the order placement section, you will find the payment information. Please utilize this section to write your preferred card number and necessary information for payment. If you are uncomfortable writing your credit card information on the form, you can write in, "Please call for payment," and a staff member will be in touch with you to take the payment over the phone. In the following section, you will find the agreements. Please read through each agreement, initial, and sign. The agreements are as follows. I have answered each question in the yellow and blue section of the self-assessment instrument, or given a written explanation in the comments section if a question is not applicable to my program. I have collected surveys from at least 70% of my full-time and part-time staff and 50% of the families served. In the event that I place my program's verification status on hold, any changes to the NECPA standards and fees will be applicable to the program at the time of reactivation of the verification visit request. I understand that if the payment for any additional blockout dates listed on page 1 of this form is not authorized in the order placement section of this form, only the first 5 days listed will be considered in the scheduling process. I understand that my visit will be scheduled within 120 days once the NECPA office receives this form and payment in full. I understand that the program cancellations, changes to blockout dates, requests to place program on hold, and/or refusal of visit dates are subject to additional fees. I understand that my program must be in operation for at least 1 year prior to submitting the NECPA Verification Visit request form. The last page of the form is meant as an additional resource to go over the holidays that we would not visit your program, as well as the verification policies and cancellation fees. You can also find the I am ready for a verification visit checklist at the bottom of the form. Let's go through the cancellation policies together. To ensure the consistency of the NECPA verification process, verifiers are instructed to immediately contact the NECPA office if a program's self-assessment instrument is not completed and easily accessible. And in the event that a verifier must depart prematurely due to these circumstances, the program will be asked to resubmit a verification payment and the verification visit will be rescheduled. If this situation occurs, the program will be billed $625. This is the fee for cancellation of a visit within 30 days of a confirmed visit date. You will also see within this section the denial of a verification visit date that is not listed as a blockout date on your visit request form is $75, as well as the cancellation outside 30 days of the confirmed visit date for $75. At the bottom of this form, please see the I am ready for verification visit checklist. This is an additional resource to ensure you are 100% ready for the NECPA verifier to visit your program. Let's go over the Am I Ready for My Verification Visit checklist. I have completed my self-assessment instrument and have collected surveys from at least 70% of my full and part-time staff and 50% of the families we serve. I have completed the program or center's identification and contact information page in the self-assessment instrument. I have a copy of my current state license for the verifier. I have a filing system with copies of written documentation for each item in the yellow section. I have ensured that the facility itself, as well as teacher-to-children interactions and program operations, are fully aligned with the NECPA standards according to the policies and procedures described in the yellow documentation section and the observation items in the blue section of the self-assessment instrument. Diplomas, degrees, and credentials of staff members are documented. A notarized statement of credentials will be accepted with appropriate information as to date and name of the educational institution where graduation or degree was earned. All staff training hours from 12 months prior to your visit date are well organized and ready to be reviewed by your verifier. This may require programs with staff members who have not yet completed the necessary 24 to 30 hours of continuing education to make additions to the corresponding documentation file with new training certificates or professional development plans in the weeks or months leading up to the visit. After you have completed the form, please email it over to necpa@necpa.net. You can also fax the form to 1-855-706-3272. If you would like to mail the form, please mail to P.O. Box 2948, Merrifield, Virginia 22116. What happens after you request your verification visit? After you've completed your verification visit request form, you will receive a confirmation of receipt email from the NECPA office. Please read through this email carefully, as it is an additional resource to prepare you for the verification visit. You will see some of the same information in this email as previously discussed. Let's read through a portion of the email together. It is important that you are ready for your visit, and the day of your visit represents typical daily routines and staffing for your program. Complete page 1. Program Center Identification and Contact Information of your self-assessment instrument. Your verifier will review all items in the yellow and blue sections of your SAI, as well as all necessary supporting documents. Which questions am I required to answer in the self-assessment instrument? Please ensure that you answer all questions in the yellow documentation section and the blue observation section. Programs that have questions unanswered on the day of their visit may be considered unprepared for a visit, and the verifier may find it necessary to end the visit early. What if I answer no to a question in the self-assessment instrument? The goal is to get your no answer to become a yes answer. You should only utilize the NA option if the item is truly not applicable. For example, if the item relates to infants, but your program does not serve that age group. Documentation for the yellow section must be well organized in a file box or binder and easily accessible. Please utilize the NECPA document box labels and checklists provided. You are requested to disclose any potential verifier conflict of interest within 48 hours of being notified of your verification visit date and the name of the verifier assigned to your program. After you've submitted your verification visit request, the NECPA visit scheduling team will be working to secure a date for your program. The team will work with our verifiers to ensure a visit occurs within 120 days of your request date. During this process, you should expect a call from our verification visit scheduler in which she will offer a visit date. Unless you have a serious scheduling conflict, you should accept the offer date, as denial of a visit date which has not been previously listed on blockout dates will result in a $75 fee. After you have confirmed your verification visit date with our scheduler, you will receive a verification visit confirmation email. Just like the receipt of visit confirmation email, you will want to read through this email carefully as it contains important information and reminders about your visit. Let's take a look at some of the content from this email. You will see the confirmed date of your visit as well as your verifier name. The verifier will be calling you 24 to 48 hours prior to your visit to confirm their arrival time as well as go through general day of information and questions. As you will see within this email, it is essential you are ready for your visit when it occurs and that the day of your visit represents typical daily routines and staffing of your program. Staff qualifications will be cross-referenced with the respective staff present on the day of your visit. Further down in this email, you will see a reminder about completing your self-assessment instrument, information about canceling your verification visit, as well as a request to disclose any potential verifier conflicts of interest within 48 hours of being notified of the verification date and assigned verifier. We have also included an I am ready for my verification visit checklist, which was also included on the verification visit request form. Please go through this checklist one more time to ensure you are meeting these items. After this section, you will see some frequently overlooked items. Let's go through these together. Resilient surface on playground. Programs must adhere to current Consumer Product Safety Commission standards to receive credit for this indicator. First aid and CPR certification for both part-time and full-time staff. American Red Cross, American Heart Association, National Safety Council for First Aid Training Institute, any state-approved organization, or the equivalent of one of the four. Your verifier must see the actual pediatric first aid card issued by the trainer for each employee, including staff members not present on the day of the visit. Notarized photocopies of original cards or certificates are acceptable proof of verification when original cards or certificates are not available as evidence of the current CPR or first aid certification. Staffing pages in the blue section are filled out entirely with representation of who is responsible for each classroom. After these items, you will see the verification visit day process and review. Let's go through these items together as well. Your verifier will arrive at the agreed upon time. After meeting the staff and touring the facility, your verifier will begin the observations and documentation review. Ensure this information is readily accessible to the verifier. Your verifier will visit each room as often as needed for observation and documentation of standards. Your verifier will use your program's self-assessment instrument to make comments and document observations. At the end of the verification visit, your verifier will initiate the exit interview with you, the program director only. If you answered no or NA, or an item is marked NV, your verifier will document this in the comments section. During the exit interview, you will have the opportunity to provide a response to any comment written by the verifier. You are encouraged to make a copy of all completed pages in the comments section. Upon completion of the exit interview, your verifier will obtain the following items: your completed self-assessment instrument, parent and staff surveys, a copy of your program's state license. This information is sent directly to the NECPA office for profiling. Your program's profile is then sent to the NECPA National Accreditation Council, NAC, and the NECPA Commission for review. Your program will be issued the results for your visit via email within 60 days of your verification visit date. When your verifier calls your program 24 to 48 hours prior to your visit, you will have the opportunity to go through any questions you may have. Still have questions or concerns regarding your verification visit? Our team is always here to help. Please view our other instructional videos on our website at www.necpa.net/how-to-videos. Or please give us a call at 855-706-3272. Or email your questions or concerns to necpa@necpa.net, and a team member will respond as soon as possible.